at 6 p.m. today, different, better leader in Riman than the moment that you walked in just 20 minutes ago. I'm ready to get started. Is anybody else ready to get started? Sound team, if I could get a little bit of monitor up here, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing this, so I keep screaming. I think I'm going to lose my voice. I appreciate it. Now, I want to start off by saying congratulations to all of you. Obviously, starting tomorrow, the main session, everybody could come. Today, it's only for qualified senior managers and above. You have done, in my opinion, the most important step from starting the opportunity to becoming a senior manager and above. To me, that is the most important step that you could take in Riman to fully start to understand the system and the process of Riman leadership development. And you have already done it, and you have achieved, in my opinion, the most important position step that you could take in Riman. So can we give everybody in the room a huge congratulations? What if you tell the person sitting next to you, congratulations for being here right now. Congratulations for being here right now. Now, since you have already became a senior manager, team leader, director, senior director, national director, and as we're going to dive into this leadership training, I want to talk to you about a word that I love and a mindset I love, which is being a pioneer. And I want to show you a fun picture. Do you know what this picture is? This is a picture of Las Vegas. All the way left, you know, the Vegas Club, you know, that little hotel. Do you know what year that was built? Anyone want to guess how old that thing is? 1949. Okay? So it's not that long ago. Less than 80 years ago, that's what Las Vegas looked like. You know, about 100 years ago, this city, Las Vegas, started. Where we're sitting right now, probably the most amount of lights and most amount of LED, most amount of giant hotels gathered together in just a couple blocks on the strip of Las Vegas that you've been seeing and experiencing the last 24, 48 hours. Probably one of the most beautiful cities in the world developed 100 years ago. It was just a desert. There was absolutely nothing here. But you know why we get to see what we see today? This is what it looks like today. That's the property we're sitting in right now. But 100 years ago, it was just middle of desert. How did that happen? Somebody, Bugsy had an idea to build this entertainment city in the middle of desert. Now, I have a question for you. As a pioneer, someone wanted to build an entertainment city in the middle of desert. The nearest large city from Las Vegas is LA. You know what that means? That's almost a 5-hour drive. In the middle of desert, this person had the idea to build an entertainment city, thinking that everybody from all over the world are going to be traveling to this city. How many of you think that sounds crazy? Or how many of you think when he told that idea to people around him, everybody told him, "You're a genius, that's a great idea"? How many of you could probably estimate that everybody told him he's crazy? Everybody told him it's impossible. There's no electricity, there's no water, it's too hot, it's dry, there's no way people are going to travel that far to be there, but he had a vision to create this city. That's a pioneer. See, the difference between the normal people and pioneer don't see with their eyes, they see with vision. They can see things in their mind, and we call that vision, before you can see things with your eyes. And many of you, as you join Riman community and you start our business, and we're seeing so many countries, many leaders that have traveled from different countries around the world. You know why they're the leaders in their market? Because they're pioneers. They got involved before we had a single customer in the country. They got involved before we had a single team leader or senior manager or director in the market. They got involved before anybody in their community was using our products and having transformation, beautiful before and after story. You know why? Because they're visionaries, because they're pioneers. They saw it happening before it actually happened in their community. And that's the reason why I say congratulations. All of you that's here right now, you are the pioneer in Riman. And because you're a pioneer in Riman, bringing Riman products to your city, your state, your community, your country, you have the ability, you have the opportunity to create like what we have seen in Las Vegas happening in your marketplace. And you know, there's a gentleman, Chairman On, founder of Riman. He's been studying, he's been obsessed about studying this plant called bilbo for 20 plus years. And he discovered the way to create a giant bilbo. He discovered the way to create now what is being recognized as the greatest skincare solution in the world, which is our ICD skincare line. And he created this beautiful company, Riman, in 2018, all the way in Korea. And in first 2.5 years of operating, competing in the most competitive skincare market in the world, he has developed the #1 best-selling Korean skincare brand in Korea within the first 3 years of time. And after building a #1 K-beauty brand in Korea, he had a vision. He had a vision to bring Riman to all over the world and build a #1 K-beauty brand in the world, not just in Korea. And that is what started this expansion plan just 3.5 years ago, March of 2023. I remember meeting Chairman On and Mr. Wang just June of 2022. Just a little over 4 years ago. They shared this vision with me. Before we had a single employee in America, before we had a single product registered outside of Korea, before we had a single customer, before we had a single planner anywhere outside of Korea, they had this vision. And their vision was so clear. Even though with our eyesight we couldn't see anything, the vision was so clear that it was almost impossible not to see it. And that started this journey. And through that, I realized that, you know, every successful business, every successful entrepreneur, it is impossible to become one without being a pioneer. You got to develop the mindset, you got to develop the ability to see things that doesn't exist. And let your vision be more clear than your eyesight, so you can focus on it and create it. How many of you have been exploring Las Vegas a little bit and you saw this going up just down the street? If you haven't seen it yet, on Las Vegas Boulevard, just drive towards the Spring Mountain, towards the Venetian area, and you're going to see this. You know what that is? That's the old Mirage now turning into a new Hard Rock Hotel that's being built in Las Vegas right now. 2 years ago, they started the project, and today, if you drive by, I took that picture yesterday. It's a shape of a guitar on this street of Las Vegas Boulevard being developed. That's going to be the most beautiful and the largest Hard Rock Hotel ever been created. Now, just think about this. Before building, what has to happen first?
The vision.
The design happens to happen first. Before you could see it with your eyes, you have to see it with your mind. You have to be able to see it with your vision first. And the reason I explain all of this to you is because this weekend, while you're in Las Vegas, at 2026 Las Vegas Convention, I want to encourage you to clearly start designing your life. I want you to start designing your life on what it will look like in 2030, what it will look like in 2036. What do you want your life to look like next 3, 5, 10, 20 years from now? See, I remember meeting a group of entrepreneurs for the very first time. This is what started my entrepreneurship journey for me. I was sitting in a little master class, training type of a room, and the gentleman said, Danny, take a look at where your life was 5 years ago. And take a look at where your life is now. How much have it changed? I thought about it and I realized not much have changed. I said, not much, sir. Living in the same house we were living in, my parents' career is the same, my path is the same, our bank account balance is the same, the problems that we manage through every single month is similar. I said, not much have changed. Now, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. until he asked me the next question. He said, where do you think your life will be 5 years from now? He said, how much do you think is going to change? I thought about it. I realized I don't think my life is going to change that much in the next 5 years because we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a design to change much in the next 5 years of time. And he said, is that okay? And when he asked me the question, is that okay? It was the first time in my life I said, it's actually not okay for my life to continue the way it was 5 years ago, the way it is now, to continue even 5 years and 10 years from now. And there was the day he sat me down and he said, Danny, why don't you start designing your life exactly the way that you want it to be? What you cannot see with your eyes, why don't you start designing it? And that was a conversation I had with him over 20 years ago, and I started designing it. I said, when I have kids, you know, when I get married, when my parents get older, when I start doing this, I want my life to look like this. And he got me to start seeing things with vision more than my eyesight. And one by one over time, those things became a reality. And before you leave Las Vegas this weekend, I want to encourage all of you to design your life how you want it to look 2, 5, 10, 20 years from now. Now, I'll tell you, for me, I'm in mid-40s now. And when I met Riman Opportunity, many of you know the meaning of Riman. It's second chance in life. It's Riman. It's rebirth. And it's more than just having second chance with our skin. I knew that this was going to be second chance in life for me to do something special and be part of something special. And I thought to myself, this is probably going to be the last opportunity I'm going to have in my lifetime, that I could truly be part of something bigger than myself, bigger than anything I thought of before, and actually make a positive difference in the world by being part of a movement, something as big as this. And I got so excited about getting involved, and I cannot believe last 4 years just went by just like that. And what's exciting is this is just the beginning. And I want you to think about it, wherever you are in life, in past 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, how many special opportunities and moments like that have you really had the opportunity to participate in? Maybe you could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe some of us could only count once or twice in our lifetime that maybe we participated in, or maybe had a chance to participate in it, but maybe we didn't get to and we missed out. For the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of our workable lives, how many more opportunities like that do you think will appear in your life? For me, when I found Riman, I thought to myself, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to have an opportunity like this ever again. So the way I started with Riman Opportunity was I said, this is my last chance. I told all my best friends, this is my last dance. Everything I've learned up to this point, everything I got to experience up to this point, every energy in me that I have, every possible ability and skill set and everything that we could give, we're giving it here because this is my last dance. And this is where we're going to make the biggest difference and make the biggest impact in our lives. And that's how myself got started. That's how Mr. Steve Young got started. That's how Mr. Tim Hart got started. That's how Mr. Chris King got started. That's how Ms. Karen Kong got started. The national directors and senior directors and directors, that's the vision that we share. And I want to encourage all of you, with learning and experiencing Riman more this weekend, to clearly design the life that you want next 5 to 10 years of time. Can we just talk reality even outside of Riman world today? How many of you agree in 2026 we're living in one of the most uncertain economic times that we have ever experienced in our lifetime? How many of you agree with that? I mean, let's talk about it. Just a few months ago, everybody thought the stock market was going to continue to go crazy. How many of you are seeing what's happening in the last 30 days? 6 months ago, everybody thought this time of this year, interest rates will start to drop. But what did we just see? Interest rates starting to rise. Just last year, everybody said, hey, 2026, crypto is going to go crazy and everybody's going to get wealthy. I talked to some of my friends with a large crypto portfolio that told me their portfolio went down 40 to 60% this year. Some people, the real estate is going to go crazy this year, and we're seeing some challenges and difficulties and transitions happening right now. I'm not trying to talk about what is challenging and what's difficult. I'm just saying it's uncertain. And nobody can predict what's about to happen. How many of you have been hearing about AI replacing jobs and mega corporations laying off tens of thousands of people every single quarter around the world right now? How many of you guys have been seeing the news and hearing about it? How many of you are already seeing AI replacing many of the jobs that people have been studying for 10 years and 20 years? I just saw it on the news. They were just talking about how the graduation, any speaker, anybody that was giving a speech at a graduation of some of these best schools in America, during the graduation speech, if the outside professionals came and they were speaking during their message, if they mentioned the word AI, everybody was booing because they're like, they are replacing and they're taking away the opportunity we've been studying for 4 to 6 years for. And that is the reality where we live today. True or not true?
Sure.
I believe in 2026, we need to gain control. We need to be in charge and start designing our future and being in control of how our life will look 5 to 10 years from now. Now, if not, it's going to be even more uncertain when things start to change and transition next few years of time. How many of you agree with that? So that's the reason why with Riman movement and what's happening right now, I'm telling everybody I talk to personally, take this opportunity seriously. Not casually, take this opportunity seriously. Why? Because it has the potential to really change your life for better, for the rest of your life, if you participate with Riman opportunity in a very serious way. After you design your life and you start building your business, that's how you can start to create your life to be exactly what you want it to be. You know, my parents are in the 70s now, and it's a sad thought, and it's a scary thought, but I almost think about, you know, how many more summers do I really have with them that they can actually travel in good physical condition and experience the world. You know, maybe 10 times, maybe 5 times, maybe 15 times, but it's not that many. How many of you agree? Let me ask you a question. If it was up to you, how many of you want your life to be much better and much different 5 years from now than what it has been or what it is right now by show of hands? And you know, the exciting thing is, if you design it now, you could be in control. My mentor said, Danny, not planning to win, it's automatically living by the plan to not win. He said, only way you could change your future is to start thinking different, start making different decisions, start designing differently, and start talking differently, start being in different environments, and start taking different actions for you to go out there and change the results of your life to be different. And I want to let you know that with Riman opportunity, if you could design the life you want, ask yourself, what do I want to do with my family? What do I want to do with my parents? What do I want to do with my kids? What do I want to do more of with my spouse? What do I want to, where do we want to go? Where do we want to experience? Where do we want to live? And what good do we want to do for the community? What charity do I want to be part of? How can we serve? And what is the purpose? If we start thinking about these things and start designing, I believe with Riman opportunity, you have the potential to design it. So here's a question for you. The life that you want to design and the business that you want to build, just by thinking about it for a few minutes here, what does it look like? Is it small? Is it the life that you want to design? Does it include you having to work for money and work for a certain amount of paycheck every single month? Or does it include freedom? How many of you, the life you want to design includes freedom by show of hands? Woo! Freedom from finances. I was talking to a friend, he's like, hey, Danny, I don't want to be rich. I just never want to worry about money ever again. How many of you would be excited about just getting rid of the stress caused by finances in your life? How many of you think that would be exciting? How about time freedom? How many of you want to have time freedom? To truly be able to do whatever you want, anytime you want. So does it include freedom freedom? How about, does it include leverage? Do you want it to be the life that you design? Do you want good things to only happen when you're doing things, or do you want it to have leverage in it where even when you are taking your family somewhere for a month, somewhere your business is running, the results are running, success continues? Does it include leverage? Does it include scalability, bigger than you? Maybe you live in a city, but bigger than the city, bigger than the state, in different cultures and different languages. Does it include scale? If that is so, today as we dive into the training, I want you to know, only way that freedom and leverage and scale can happen is if you build system and culture and leaders in your business to create it. Freedom and leverage and scale is only possible when you can actually build system and culture and leaders in your Riman business. So how do you build system and culture and leaders? Freedom and leverage and scale is not what you build. That's what you design. That's what you want. And that's what you design. And that's what you want. But to have that, you've got to build system and culture and leaders. But how do you do that? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're going to dive into today. And one of the first questions my mentor taught me many years ago, he said, Danny, as you're building the business, before you ask the question, does it work? I want you to get good at asking the question, does it duplicate? He said, only way you could build on system, not on you, build a culture of duplication, not just on you, build it, scalability, because scale means it needs to happen where you're not at. It needs to happen more than just you doing it, to scale larger than you. Only way that can happen is if duplication could kick in. And he said, for duplication to kick in your business, before you ask the question, can I do it or does it work, you gotta get good at asking the question, does it duplicate first? Give you an example. If someone is a beautiful artist and they could carve out of ice and create a little dragon out of ice, I mean, that's a talent. How many of you agree that's pretty cool? How many of you could agree we won't make it in trying to do that? That's cool, it's impressive, but it's not duplicatable. Would you agree with that? Last regular job I had when I was 17 years old was I used to work at Starbucks. Matter of fact, I got my job at Starbucks in New York Hotel just across the street from here, but before they opened the Starbucks there, they trained us right here. I got trained for 2 weeks at MGM Starbucks right here. And their training is so good, I still remember how to make all the drinks. 25 years that I still remember. That's a good training. You want, grande caramel macchiato, you do 2 pumps of vanilla first, you steam the milk, you foam it up, macchiato. You know what macchiato means? It means market. So you do the milk and the foam and you do the espresso shot after and you zigzag, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm just telling you, I got that training right here at the MGM 25 years ago. Woo! But here's the cool part. I was a 17-year-old kid. I barely spoke any English. I didn't know how to make coffee. I didn't even know how to spell coffee. I wasn't a coffee drinker. I hated the taste of coffee 25 years ago. But even someone like me, they trained me to make whatever drink they have on the menu. Why? Because it was simple. It was duplicatable. Any 17-year-old kid could do it. How many of you want your business to grow bigger than you? By show of hands. How many of your business have so much leverage that it's happening when you're sleeping? It's happening when you're in different time zones. It's happening in different culture and different language. It's happening without even you knowing about it. How many of you want leverage to be part of your business? How many of you want your business to create such a success that delivers such a freedom that it continues every single day, 24 hours a day, regardless of what you're doing? And only way that can happen is if the business is built on duplication, system, culture, and leaders, instead of just being built on you. And that's why we are so focused on building systems. That's the reason why we talk so much about systems. And I tell people all the time, when you're building the business based on system, don't look for the easy way. Whenever a situation or opportunity pop up, maybe the easy way to do it, that's easy for you, but maybe it's not duplicatable. You always want to think about what is the best way to do it that's duplicatable for that person to continue and do it even when I'm not here. Many people join our business, and especially if it's their first time, they tell me, Danny, but I like creativity. I like to do it differently. I like to make it, I like to, do it my way. I like my way. How many of you ever hear that? It's like, because I got so much creativity in me. I want freedom. I don't like structure. I don't like system. I just want to do it when I want, however I want it. And that's how I want to do it. And I want to let you know, it's okay. You could do it that way. But you just have to accept the fact that if you build it that way, it won't grow bigger than you. It will just produce results when you're doing it, but when you're not doing it, it's not going to continue because you are not duplicatable. Freedom of doing whatever you feel like and however you want is not duplicatable. It's not scalable. It's only going to operate when you're actually doing it. So you will lose the freedom and leverage. And you'll lose the scalability if you're building it that way. Now I love freedom, but the way I approach freedom is a little different. The way I approach freedom is, hey, Riman says there's no limit on how big you can grow. You can build it as big as you want. To me, that's freedom. Riman doesn't say, you're from California, you're only allowed to build in California, you're only allowed to make money in California. No, Riman doesn't say that. We're in 18 countries, we're about to open up 50 countries. You can build it wherever you want, you can build it as big as you want. To me, that's freedom. How many of you agree with that? That's freedom. So people are like, oh, I want to do things just whenever I feel like, well, it's okay, but just you gotta accept the thing that it cannot duplicate if that's how you want. If you want freedom, choose freedom lifestyle. Choose freedom on how big you can build. See, creativity. Now, I'm not saying creativity is not good. You should apply creativity. But creativity in style of duplicating the core. Creativity in not how things are done, but creativity of how core things, the fundamental, the basic is being done in different style of form. See, if we can master the core, which is our presentation and orientation and K-pop, which we're going to be spending a little more time about in just a few minutes. If you can master the basics and add your creativity in adding style to it and make it fun and make it exciting, the way it represents you operating the core and the basics, you could build an exciting business that will create leverage, create scalability, and create freedom. I'll give you an example. Some of the legendary brands, if you really stop and think about it, they have mastered this. They have mastered this. As an example, how many of you ever heard of Rolex? Like a legendary brand like Rolex? I mean, you walk into a Rolex store in Las Vegas, nobody has any inventory. You cannot get anything because they're always sold out. That's a legendary brand. How many have ever heard of Hermes? Any ladies like Hermes? Birkin? Any of you ever heard of Hermes and Birkin? You walk into all Hermes stores in Las Vegas and ask for a Birkin bag, nobody has it. You cannot get it. It's always sold out, not available. It's legendary brands. But if you really think about it, isn't it true their design look the same forever? Just a little bit of creativity in different color, a little bit of different style, but their core design doesn't change. Another example is Porsche 911. How many of you agree Porsche 911 almost look the same ever since? You know what's crazy? The Submariner Rolex was designed 1953. 1953. And the design's been the same. Just different colors. Porsche 911 was designed in 1963. And very little by little, just a little bit of design change to the same exact foundation core of the car. The Hermes Birkin bag was created in 1984. 42 years later, the bag looks the same. And you walk into the store, you cannot get it because it's sold out. How many of you think that's working? By show of hands. But some people are like, but I want to do a completely different design. I want to be so creative and make it different all the time. See, I don't know about you. I love listening to Elvis Presley songs still. I still love listening to Michael Jackson song that's been around for 30 years. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Woo. See, new is good. Creativity is good. But when you have something good, you know why you do new? You know why you do creativity? To find something good. But when you get something good and when you find something that's working, you dig deeper with it. And you get creative with keeping the core and keeping the basic and having fun with it. And that's how you truly build a legendary brand and legendary opportunity and legendary system. If every 3 months and every 1 year you're changing up the system of how you operate, it will be impossible to build a legendary system and a brand. Does that make sense to you? So keep the core, keep the main thing the main thing. Continue with that conversation. Do not reinvent the wheel. The wheel is working fine the way it is. It's like, I got so much creativity in me, I just want to try creating a square wheel. I mean, how is that car going to run? It's not going to be very comfortable. Would you agree with that? Now, how many of you have a business partner back home? They always want to recreate and reinvent the wheel and do things my way differently all the time. How many of you how many of you have people like that? Now, we're not saying that they're bad people. They're great people. We just have to apply leadership in guiding them to make sure that they understand the reason why they need to learn and master the system and the basic. It's for them to have great success. So the system and culture that we build in Riman in all 18 countries, because our Riman compensation plan has very strong 3 opportunities. Strong retail selling compensation. We have powerful team building compensation. We have rewarding leadership development compensation. Because we have these 3 areas of very balanced compensation, we build our business by building customers, building teams, and build leaders. Because that's how you get compensated. And how we build customers and teams and leaders is by maximizing and building with our Riman system, which is our key pop-up and retail to get customers, and our presentations to build our teams, and our orientation to develop leaders. And if you can master, even in master classes, that's why we had K-pop-up master class today. That's why to retail better, the makeup class and the social media class and art of selling and closing. We had those classes so you could master K-pop-up and retail. So you could master the presentation and launching your business, which is orientation. Once you master these, and you could apply the system in your team with great culture, your business is going to have great success more than anything you've ever experienced before. Now, people tell me sometimes, they're like, Danny, but man, the presentation is, I've never done it. I haven't done it yet. I've never done it before. Orientation, I've never done it. I don't know if I could do it. K-pop-up, I'm a little intimidated. I don't know if I could do it. We're going to have to do something a little fun here, okay? How many of you speak Korean by show of hands? Okay, about 12 of you. How many of you don't speak Korean by show of hands? All right. Well, let's see if you're permanently incapable of learning Korean. Let's see. We're going to try one Korean word first together. How do you say hello in Korean? Let me share with you. It's 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Now let's try this together, okay? Let's try this together. In count of 3, let's all say this together. 안녕하세요. Can we try it together? I know some of you are getting nervous right now. I know some of you are thinking, I've never done this before. I don't know if I can do it, but let's just try it. We're in a safe place with safe zone. We're all safe here. We're all friends here, okay? So let's try this. In count of three, let's say this. 안녕하세요 together. Can we try? Is that okay? All right,
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
안녕하세요.
Wow.
Sounds like a lot of noise.
Like you're pretty good, but I think we could do better. Can we try one more time now? Some are like, I'm having a hard time with 안녕하세요. N-Y-E-O-N. I'm not. It's almost like you go a bit fast. Say like onion. 안녕하세요. 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 That's hello. Okay. Let's now with it written out. Let's try it one more time together. Can we? All right. Count of three. 1, 2, 3.
안녕하세요.
And you sound Korean right now. You sound Korean right now. Your K-beauty marketing ability just has upgraded to next level right now. Now I know. We work hard to learn one word, but let's see if we can do one more. How about I love you? Love you. Can we try love you? Love you. It's 사랑해요. 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 Can we try this together in count of three? 1, 2, 3. 사랑해요. Now that's great. How many of you, 5 minutes ago, you never said anything in Korean before, and in already a couple minutes you know 2 words, 2 vocabularies, or 2 sentences that's seriously powerful in Korean already? Give yourself a big hand. You're overachieving. If someone asks you now, do you speak any other language? Now you can say, yeah, a little bit, Korean. If someone asks you now, you're like, I'm kind of bilingual, Korean. 안녕하세요, you know. Let's just see if we can do one more. How about thank you? Thank you is common use. Thank you is 감사합니다. Can we try 감사합니다? Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3.
감사합니다.
It was good, but I think we could do better. It's 감사합니다. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3.
감사합니다.
Now, how many of you agree it's pretty simple? 5 minutes ago we didn't know it. If we go through it, and if we try it, and if we don't sound good, we say it again, we say it again, we say it again, we say it again. How many of you could agree with me? If you say it every day for the next 30 days, you're probably going to almost sound Korean when you say that one word. Would you agree with that? Of course. See, the question is, who can learn Korean? Anybody can. Who can learn English? Anybody can. Who can learn a song? Anybody can. Who can learn presentation? Anybody can. Who can learn orientation? Anybody can. Who can learn to do K-pop? Anybody can. There's nobody that cannot do it. You just got to do it and learn it. Now, we're going to learn one more word, because this one is pretty powerful, called 아리랑. Now, some are like, what is 아리랑? Some of you that listen to BTS music, you're like, 아리랑 is their album name. I know, but there is a meaning to this word. I love what 아리랑 stands for. Do you know that 2012 UNESCO registered 아리랑 as an intangible, like cultural, human representing word? Like it's incredible. Like it's UNESCO registered word, 아리랑. What does it mean? It means it represents the Korean spirit, which is the perseverance to overcome hardship, the longing for loved ones, and the hope that lies beyond every mountain pass. Now, this is the title, this is the name for the BTS 2026 new album that just came out. Now, there's a reason why I'm showing you all this. Late May, BTS came to Las Vegas and did 4 concerts here during the starting of their world tour. And you know when they came, do you know what happened in Las Vegas? This has never happened before by any artist doing a tour in Las Vegas. For the first time in history, Las Vegas did something where the whole city worked together and they created this. Watch this. If we could get the volume on, please. Volume of the video, if it's in there. Take a look at this, okay? Whole Las Vegas, every hotel worked together. From Sphere to the airport to the monorail, every hotel, it doesn't matter what their regular color is, the whole city turned red. Now this is the K-pop music group we're talking about. When we talk about the K-beauty and K-movement, Las Vegas, in history of Las Vegas, this has never happened before. This is what just happened just a couple of months ago, right here in this city. Every single attraction in Las Vegas turned into Ariran BTS tour. And we have 4 concerts, 65,000 people each. 250,000 people went to the concert in just 4 concerts in Las Vegas. Now, I went to that concert. I want to show you a little clip. During their first song called Body to Body, in the middle of the song, there are Korean lyrics singing Ariran. And I had, you know goosebumps. We call it chicken skin in Philippines. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The chicken skin. You know goosebumps. I had goosebumps sitting in that stadium with 65,000 people. You know why? Because I know I looked around. 99% of them are not Koreans. But they were singing. They were singing. To get the music up a little bit. In this song, Body to Body, they transition into this Korean traditional folk song. Hundreds of years ago, called Ariran. And in this stadium, I saw 65,000 people sing Ariran in Korean language. Singing this song in Korean lyrics. Look out. Because they've been going around everywhere. They just had concert in Spain, and they just had concert in Belgium, and they just had concert in Toronto. And I'm telling you, 1.2 million people, they all sing this song. And they say this word, Ariran. You should learn the word Ariran. Can we try this, Ariran? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ariran. Ariran. Think about this. What does that mean? If 1.2 million people can sing Korean lyric Ariran. Question. Can you learn our presentation that's in English?
Yes.
I think learning Riman presentation is easier than learning Ariran. I don't know what to do with my tongue right now. I'm getting on the computer. I'm just telling you. Riman presentation is much easier than Ariran. And Riman orientation is much easier than Ariran. Riman K-pop is much easier than Ariran. And if you can learn our presentation, and if you can learn our orientation, if you can learn our K-pop, and if you could just repeat this Riman system in your marketplace by duplicating Riman system in your marketplace consistently. Now, maybe it's not your way, but make it your way. Maybe it's not your easiest way to do it, but make it your way. Why? Because you want freedom and leverage, and because you want scalability. How many of you want your business to be bigger than you by show of hands? How many of you want more income to come from what's happening when you're not doing it by show of hands? How many of you want more presentations and more customers and more pop-up experiences happening than the one you're doing every single day? Of course. And the only way that can happen is if it duplicates, and the only way it can duplicate is if you master the Riman system. So if you haven't mastered our presentation yet, here's how you do it. Start doing it. See, there's nobody that is good the first time they do it, but there's nobody that's bad after doing it 1,000 times. Every person is capable of mastering it. Every person. Our presentation is simple. We already have PowerPoint. We already have a live event that's happening every week. You can watch and learn. And it's a 30-minute, 15 to 30-minute simple information you just share. Our orientation is simple 4-step process. Our K-pop-up is so simple. You just share our products. You can master it. If you haven't done it yet, starting this weekend, I want you to start intentionally studying and mastering the presentation and orientation in K-pop-up. And through those activities, here are the two results that you want to master duplicating in Riman business. If you want to design your life to have that freedom, to have that leverage, to have that scalability, here are the two things. Number one is what's called senior manager duplication. Say that with me, okay? Senior manager duplication. If you don't remember any other thing through this training, I want you to leave thinking, I got to master senior manager duplication. Somebody asked me the other day, why is senior manager duplication important? Here's the reason why. When I first got started in Riman, I asked Mr. Wang, I said, what is the top position in Riman? Because I was taught, don't look up from bottom to see how you can get to the top. Understand the top to see what is the shortest and the most effective distance away to connect from the top to the bottom. So I always want to know where the top of the plan is first, so you can master a path and a game plan to get there the quickest. Does that make sense? So I said, what is the top position? He said, national director. I said, what is a national director? He said, it's national director is that help for people to become directors. And if you have good board directors that generate enough volume over time, you're going to be a national director. I said, okay. I said, then what is a director? And you know what he said? He said, director is someone that has 3 team leaders, good ones, that generate enough volume over time, you could become a director. I said, okay. What do you think my next question was? What is a team leader? He said, team leader is someone that develops 3 people, 3 or more people to become senior managers, and if you have 3 or more good senior managers that develop good volume over time, you could become a team leader. What do you think my next question was? What is a senior manager? He said, senior manager is someone that creates 6,000 SP. I said, then I got it. So this plan is all about duplication of senior management. National director, how do you become national director? Duplicate senior managers. Here's what we realized. If you help dozen people to become senior managers, you're going to become a team leader. If you help 50 to 100 people to become senior managers, you're going to become a director. I realized if you help 500 to 1,000 people become a senior manager, you're going to be a national director. So here's a question for you. Becoming a senior director, a senior manager, becoming a senior manager with 6,000 SP, you have 3 different ways you could do it. You could get customers and sell products to get there. You could recruit some business partners and build a team to get there. Or number 3, if you're capable, you could buy, some packages and products to give you an edge in starting and having a head start with starter kits and things, for you to position yourself in collecting more points on your way to launching your business. So you could sell or build a team or buy or mix up those activities for you to go out there and create your first 6,000 SP. How many of you guys are following me? Okay? Now that's senior management. Now, senior manager, here's a question. Who could become a senior manager?
Anybody.
Now, first of all, everybody in this room is a senior manager or higher, right? What does that mean? If everybody in this room is senior manager and higher, what does that mean? It's possible for anybody to do. Does it take work? Yes. Does it take commitment? Yes. Is it easy? Not necessarily. It could be difficult. It could take a week, it could take a day, it could take 30 days, it could take 90 days. It doesn't matter. How many of you agree if someone truly decides to and commits to and follow through and don't give up and do their very best, how many of you agree it is possible for any person to become a senior manager over time? How many of you agree with that? Raise your hand with me if you agree that with me. Now, what does that mean? It's possible for anybody to do. So here's the thing. If it's possible for anybody to do, what if I tell you, you becoming a national director at Riman, you don't have to duplicate a superstar. You just got to go out there and duplicate something that's possible for anybody to do. Now, if somebody told me, I need to duplicate Mr. Chris Kim for me to become a national director, I'll be discouraged. If someone tell me that I have to go out there and duplicate someone like Ms. Karen Pop multiple times for me to become a national director, I'll be discouraged. Because I want to know how, and that's difficult to do. Matter of fact, I think it's impossible to do. Who could duplicate Mr. Tim Hurt?
Nobody.
It's impossible. I mean, by the time it takes you to say one paragraph, you could say 10 paragraphs. How many of you agree with that? I mean, you could drink 3 cups of coffee with 2 Red Bull and 2 Monster on top of it. You're still gonna have less dinners than Mr. Timmer and talking. How many of you agree with that? I mean, you can't duplicate that. But we could duplicate what he does. See, what I realized is his success in Riman isn't based on duplicating superstars. Success in Riman happens by duplicating something anybody could do, which is senior manager. If you could focus on senior manager duplication, anybody could do it. I saw something yesterday that was cool, so I had it on there. I know we just launched Costa Rica, and I saw some leaders post a senior manager celebration. A couple leaders getting promoted to senior manager already. I love that. Anytime somebody in your team becomes a senior manager, creating a cool post like that and celebrating and congratulating them, I absolutely love that. That's a great culture. Now, let's talk about this, okay? I know becoming a senior manager is pretty simple to do. I know it's pretty simple to do, and I want to show you something pretty cool. Let's just say that we go out to the beach, and let's just say we got a little cup here, just like this. And this is supposed to be sand, but I didn't have sand, so I got brown sugar that looked like sand. If someone came to us and said, okay, I'm going to give you a tweezer. With the tweezer, pick up sand, pick up a piece of sugar, and put it in the cup. Now, question, who could do that? If I showed hands, how many of you could do that? If I said, you just come and pick up a piece of sugar and put it in a cup, how many of you could do that? I show hands. How many of you agree that's simple for anybody to do? Now, what if I said, move all of these brown sugar into this cup, but you're not allowed to pour it, you have to do it one grab at a time. Question, how many of you agree? How many of you think that's difficult to do? How many of you think that's hard to do? Right? A lot of us think that's hard to do. But here's something to think about. Picking up and putting it in here one time, we all agree it's easy to do. Would you agree? Here's a question. Just because you have to do something easy a few hundred times for a few hours of time, does it make it difficult? Just because you have to do something simple 500 times or 1,000 times, does it make the task itself difficult?
No.
The answer is no. It just takes time. The task itself doesn't become a difficult task. Task itself just takes time. Let me ask you one more time. How many of you agree that it is possible for anybody that commits and works at it to become a senior manager? How many of you agree with that by show of hands? Matter of fact, if I told you right now that if you could start fresh right now, you're a brand new planner, and if you became a senior manager in the next 7 days, I will give you 100,000 cash. How many of you could become a new senior manager in the next 7 days of time by show of hands? Now, this is for example purposes only. Do not clip this video right now, like record and come to me and say, where's my 100 grand? This is for example purposes only. I'm trying to prove a point that it is possible for anybody to do it. And some of you may be like, but that's for $100,000. Of course I could do it. I believe duplication of senior manager and mastering that process is worth way more than $100,000.
Yep.
Mastering the process of helping someone get started, helping them to become a senior manager, I believe that process is worth millions of dollars if you can master it. So here's a question. Is it possible to help one person to become a senior manager?
Yes.
Yes! But just because you have to help 10 people to become a team leader, does it make it difficult? Answer is no. But how come so many people think it's difficult? Because here's what Henry Ford said. If you think it's easy, you're right. But if you think it's hard, you're also right. And reinforce that if you think you could do it, you're right, but he said if you think you cannot do it, you're also right. So most people make a mistake thinking that, hey, I have to do that multiple times. That makes that task difficult. And in my mind now I'm thinking it's difficult. In my mind I'm thinking I cannot do it. So I don't even try it. That's the reason why most people never become team leaders and never become national directors. Not because the task itself is difficult, simply because they mentally told themselves it's difficult and they cannot do it. If you can master senior manager duplication, I just finished 13-country tour. As we were in every country, we talked about this topic. And people ask me all the time, Danny, how are people becoming team leaders? You know what I tell them? One senior manager at a time. One senior manager at a time. People just asked me recently, how did Karen Kong just become a national director? You know what my answer is? One senior manager at a time. How do people become directors? One senior manager at a time. How is Riman experiencing momentum in more than 18 countries? Because we are duplicating one senior manager at a time. If you could master this concept of senior manager duplication, every single one of you here, in next 2 to 5 years of time, I believe could become and will become national directors. If you believe that with me, let me hear you and give it. The first result that you want to duplicate to maximize human compensation is senior manager game plan. Everybody that signs up in the business, you want to help them to become a senior manager as fast as possible. Why? It doesn't matter if they're getting 20, 30 customers to do it. Doesn't matter if they're recruiting 3 to 5 people to do it. Doesn't matter if they're a combination of different decisions to do it. If they could do it, so they could triple their retail commission opportunities, so they could maximize their plan, and you go out there and duplicate 1,000 personal SD volume culture duplication in your team, your business will grow bigger than you can possibly imagine. A lot of people said, how do you create the culture of 1,000 SP personal volume? It's very simple. 1,000 SP is 505 people. 5 people using about 200 SP worth of products. If you use our booster, serum, cream, and maybe a calming gel and a cleanser, that's 200 SP. Just 5 people. So people are like, how do you get 5 people to do that? Well, first of all, you should talk to yourself. I got a question. How many of you live with yourself by show of hands? How many of you talk to yourself sometimes by show of hands? How many of you are somewhat influential to your own decision making by show of hands? How many of you get to decide what cream you put on your face by show of hands? Okay, I'm just making sure, okay? So you should talk to yourself. So if you talk to yourself, and if you maybe as an example, maybe one of the parents, not even both, maybe one of your children, not even all, and one of your best friend, and one of your spouse, I mean one spouse of course, because I was in Malaysia, I was just in Malaysia training, and they're like, legally we could have 4. I'm like, wow, that's crazy here. But one of your, maybe a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife, your spouse, your life partner, if you and 4 other people are just using the basic core of our products, 200 SP each, that's 1,000 SP. How many of you could agree with me? If you decide to and commit to it, that is possible to do for anybody. It doesn't require master sales skill to do that. True or not true? It doesn't require social media million followers to do that. True or not true? True. How many of you agree with me? Even if they have 0 experience in sales, 0 follower on social media, anybody, if they commit to it, they could get 5 people to use our products, including themselves, to create 1,000 SP personal volume. How many of you agree with that? Yeah. No. Does it happen automatically? No. But if they commit to it and follow through in taking action to make that happen. Let me ask you one more time. By show of hands, how many of you agree it is possible for anybody to do it? By show of hands. Woo! So think about it. In Riman, you creating the business you want, to create the life that you're designing here, the life that we talked about earlier that you're designing, to make that a reality, what you have to master is senior manager duplication and everybody in your team just managing 5 or more people to use the product. If you could duplicate that for the next 2 to 5 years of time, your business will grow tremendously. Now, sometimes as I travel and talk to many leaders, they're like, but Danny, I want people like Mr. Steve Young. I want people like Kimberly Weimer. I want people like Sharon. I want people like Tim Herr. And I want Tracy. And I want Christy. I want those leaders in my team. I want to just focus on finding leaders like that in my team. I want to find leaders like Paloma in my team. But can I tell you something? Finding leaders is important. But finding leaders cannot be your full-time job. Because you want to make sure that you have the core foundation of the core being duplicated every day while you're in search for your leaders. Yes, of course, we want national directors in the team. How many of you appreciate our national directors in Riman community? From Mr. Tim Herr. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's give them a big hand. Mr. Chris Kim, Mr. Steve Young, and Miss Karen Khan. And of course, we have National Director all the way from Taiwan, Mr. Jackie, and his wife Winnie visiting from Taiwan. Can we give them a big hand? And of course, out of Taiwan, we have Amber, National Director. We have Faye, and we also have Tanya, who are National Directors. In short 3.5 years, we already have 7 National Directors outside of Korea at our top rank of this compensation plan. How many of you want to have someone like that in your team? By show of hands.
Woo!
How many of you want to end up finding a national director in your team that you're getting leadership match and all these compensation for? By show of hands. Of course we want leaders in our team. Yes, when you find a leader like that, just one, it takes one. If you find one, your small business turns into large business. Yes, if you just find one, yes, it is possible to not just increase your income, but add a 0 or 2 zeros to your income. Yes, it is possible. How many of you want to experience it, just adding a 0 to your commission by show of hands? By finding one right person. Yes, that's exciting. How many of you want leaders like Kate Twig, or Sharon, or Paloma, or Kimberly, or Monica, or Dora, or Courtney? How many of you want leaders like that to show up in your team by show of hands? Yes, we want to find leaders like that. But here's the key. Once again, as a reminder, you can learn and duplicate what they do, but you cannot duplicate who they are. So the duplication and the focus cannot just be searching for those leaders without ignoring the basic duplication of activities. Duplication of the core activities of presentation orientation and K-Papa. Duplication of senior manager duplication and 1000 SP personal volume culture that anybody could do. Doing that with everybody because it's possible for anybody to do it. That alone could build your incredible business. That alone could deliver everything you want to achieve in Riman. But while you're doing that as a main thing, if we could search for 4 directors in the team, we call it 4 aces in the team. While you're doing the duplication of 4, if you could search for leaders, to add leaders to your business, you will take your business to the next level faster. With Riman compensation plan, we have leadership that's, in my opinion, is the best this world of this direct sales and marketing has ever seen. We just added the leadership match program year and a half ago. And last year, as many of you know, we increased that leadership match to 40% on your first generation, which became an absolute game changer. And we also added the unilevel that added so much to the compensation just about a year ago. And now with the leadership override on top of that to 2 to 4%, it is changing people's lives at the leadership level more than anything we've ever seen. So yes, if you find a leader in your team, it could be a game changer. So you got to ask yourself, while you're duplicating the core activities and the basics of what we do, how do you find these aces? How do you find these aces? Who wants to know how to find these aces? As you're duplicating more senior managers and 1,000 SP personal volume, how do you find these aces? Can I just tell you the truth? Here's the honest truth. The best way to find your directors and your national directors and your superstars is bringing them to events just like this. Because events like this, as you're duplicating senior managers, you're duplicating the basic activities, events like this, environments like this, every single national director we have in Riman, every single senior director we have in Riman, they always tell me they made their decision. They made a decision to join when they saw the presentation or K-pop up. But their decision, true commitment to become a national director or senior director, every single time, that decision was made in an event just like this. That is the reason why all of us work hard to promote and bring our partners to this convention this weekend. That is the reason why we came all the way out here to Las Vegas from your country and your city for us to be here, because you just never know what partner in your team is going to turn into one of those superstars, turn into those aces, and turn into those directors and national directors in your team. So whenever leaders ask me, they said, Danny, if you could give me one advice, what would it be? I tell them, never miss training. Because you never know what training is going to be the event that's going to have that aha moment, epiphany, breakthrough moment for that person to wake up and make that commitment to become a national director. And that's why I'm so appreciative and I'm so excited for all of you that's here this weekend in Las Vegas, because you're here. And the fact that you're here, I know many of you that came as a senior manager. Many of you, this is your first convention. Many of you just started your Riman journey with us 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 1 year ago. I know many of you. This weekend, you're going to make your decision to become a national director, to become a senior director, to become a director. You're going to make your decision, designing your life the way you want, designing your future, and say, you know what, Riman is mine. I'm going to make it happen, and nobody can stop me from getting there. I know many of you are going to make that decision this weekend. And as you make that decision this weekend, and as we go back home after the convention, traveling back home and start building in our marketplace, I want to encourage you to stay the course. I want to encourage you to stay the course because, let's face it, it's easier to start, but it's the staying the course and finishing the task that's where people have trouble with. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
You know, my gym membership, I think I have the most expensive gym membership in the world. You know why? Because I haven't gone for a long time. You know, the value. You know, I mean, the reality is, many people say yes, many people start, but staying the course when things get difficult. How many of you agree, when someone had a vision to build Las Vegas, all the decisions they made and all the plans they put in place, all the execution they did to start building the city probably wasn't easy? How many of you think everything they planned out and how they're going to build it, when they're going to build it by, happened exactly the way they originally planned it to? How many of you agree that didn't happen? How many of you ever remodeled your bathroom or your kitchen before, by show of hands? Lori, raise your hand real high. You've been remodeling your house for a year and a half. How many of you ever remodeled your place and it took longer than your original plan, by show of hands? How many of you cost it more than your original plan, by show of hands? Always, every single time. You know, I asked the same question in Malaysia, they raise their hand. I asked the same question in Spain, they raise their hand. I asked the same question in Japan, they raise their hand. Every country, they raise their hand. You know why? Because when you plan things, it's not supposed to go according to your plan. It never happens. But how many of you know that many people put a plan together, one thing goes wrong according to the plan, and they stop the course and they give up? How many of you know people like that, by show of hands? See, the pioneers, because they see the vision, they don't see what they see with their eyes, they see the vision, they stay the course. And because they stayed the course and they didn't give up, when things got hard, they did it anyways. When people told them it's not going to work, they did it anyways. When everything seemed like it wasn't going to happen anymore, it seemed like there's no way out, they still did it anyways, and they stayed the course. Why? Because they understood failure is an event. But quitting is a decision. If you're playing a video game, remember Street Fighters? After losing one, they say, "You lose." How many of you remember? You lose. It's just one game. Just play the next game. See, quitting is a decision. Failure is part of the journey. Losing is part of the journey. It's just an event that you keep on keeping on. My mentor taught me many years ago, he said, "Danny, it's not what happens to you. It's not the events that occur in life that will determine the outcome." He said, "It's your response, how you respond to the event that will determine the outcome." He said, "It's not what happens to you that determines the outcome. It's not what you do with what happens to you that will determine the outcome." Just because it rains outside, does that mean that you have to get rained on? Answer is no. You can decide to stay indoor. You could decide to bring an umbrella and not get rained on. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world, you decide. Just because someone quits on you and they told you they're going to be with you all the way, but they give up and they quit, does that mean that you have to quit your business too?
No.
Just because someone that you're counting on betrays you, does that mean that the life that you design has to be canceled? Answer is no. If you can stay the course, and if you can stay focused, and don't let anything or anyone stop you from completing the task, every single one of you here, to make the life that you design become a reality in your life. How many of you guys agree with that?
Woo.
And on that journey, during that journey, it's very important to not get caught up in complaining. How many of you agree it's easy to complain? By show of hands. How many of you know a really professional complainer? By show of hands. Like a professional, really good one. They have a way to do it in such a tactical way, and they're so fast. As soon as it happens, it's almost like they prepared a whole speech, and they know exactly how to complain in a very masterful way. How many of you know people like that? How many of you live with one? By show of hands. How many of you are sitting with one on your chair right now? Okay. It's easy to complain. Let's face it, life is. Someone asked Mr. Jim Rohn, what is the definition of life? Here's what he said. Life, my definition, opportunities mixed with difficulties. Opportunities mixed with difficulties. There's absolutely nothing in the world that's worth achieving and worth doing that doesn't include difficulties in the journey, in the process of getting it done. Would you agree with that? There's absolutely nothing. So it's easy to complain. But choosing not to complain. It's easy to fall into the trap of complaining, but choosing not to complain. Now, I'm very amateur with Bible. But in the Bible, it kind of tells us a story about when he took the Israelites out of Egypt. They were in slavery for 430 years and took them on a journey to take them to the Promised Land. I mean, he literally opened up the sea for them to walk through. And after going through it, in the middle of the desert, they said they're thirsty, and he gave them water out of a rock. They said, we want more food. They woke up in the morning, they had madness, like they had carbs everywhere. And after eating a little bit of carb diet with water every day, they're like, we need a little more food. They said, we want some protein. And without hunting, the birds, quails just started dropping on the ground, and they had protein in the middle of the desert. They had water and carbs and protein. And it was supposed to be a short journey, but what happened was they kept complaining. They had water in the desert. They had birds without hunting. But after a while, they kept complaining and complaining. And Jim Rohn called it trick cancel. Or something like that. It didn't happen after 40 years, but that generation missed out. Walking around for 40 years in the wilderness missed out. Why? Because part of it was because they got out of the slavery, they said. But they didn't get slavery out of them. They were still complaining. They were comparing how good. How many of you know people that said good old days? How many of you know people talk about the good old days? Well, you know, my ex-work, my old business, my previous company, they have this, they have that. I'm like, that company is not around. You were there 10 years. You didn't become financially independent. Your life didn't get designed there. And you left there because it was not good. And you're here and you're comparing to that and complaining here. Now, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other people that didn't come. Now, it's easy to complain. Well, my old, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that. How come we don't have this, we don't have that? Oh, this is uncomfortable, this is difficult. It's easy to complain. But the reality is, if you keep complaining, your trip is going to be canceled. Because here's the reality. Here's what Mr. Jim Brown said. Nobody wants to be around a complainer. How many of you agree nobody wants to be around a complainer? How many of you agree when you complain, it creates such an energy that even the things that could have done well, it starts to not go well? Now somebody says attitude is everything. I disagree with that, but I do believe that attitude makes everything better. If you're doing the same work with wrong attitude, if you're doing the same presentation, but with complaining thoughts in your mind, how many of you agree you're not going to be as effective as if you're doing it with happy and grateful thoughts? See, I was taught from the trainings when in the early days, they said, Danny, every day, it's easy to complain. You know what when I used to say? When I was just getting started in my entrepreneurship journey, I only lived in America for 4 years. I didn't speak English. I was 18 years old. I had no money. I didn't know anybody. I had no experience. Nobody was supporting me. Everybody was making fun of me. You know when I got started, you know the reality I found out later? I found out later that a lot of the leaders from California told my upline leader, they told him, you're going to go to hell for making that kid believe that he could actually make it in this business because he's got no chance. Wow. True story. I didn't even speak English. I had no money. I had absolutely no access to any resources whatsoever. Every day I was like, but you know, I'm too young, I'm too broke, I don't have this, I don't speak English. I used to talk about those things and complain all the time. It's too hard, it's too hot, it's too difficult. It's too challenging, I don't know how. I wish someone would come around and help me. I wish someone would come around and motivate me. I used to say those things all the time. But one day, my mentor woke me up. He said, Danny, until the moment you take full responsibility of where you are now, and be grateful and be happy for where you are now. Whatever's happening, be grateful for it. Whatever's not happening, be grateful for it. Whatever's happening, be happy about it. Whatever's not happening, be happy about it. Until you get to a point where you take full responsibility of where you are and you stop complaining, because your result in life isn't about the event, it's your response. It's how you respond to the event that will determine the outcome. And once you understand that and take full control, you take control. You take control of your life instead of complaining about what others could do differently. Until you have that breakthrough, your life will never change. And once he told me that, Danny, if you learn to be happy and grateful about every situation, about everything, about everyone, every single day, in everything you do, with that attitude of being happy and grateful every single day. You wake up in the morning and you say, I'm happy and grateful now that I'm awake. I'm happy and grateful now that I'm in Riman opportunity. I'm happy and grateful now that my upline is so lazy, won't answer my call, won't respond to my text, won't help me with K-pop, but I'm happy and grateful now that she is not around, because if she was doing it, will probably ruin my prospect. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm the first person in my language doing this business and nobody else is doing it. Instead of complaining that I wish there was materials ready for me in my language, instead of complaining, I wish someone would do a good presentation for me every day. You said, I'm happy and grateful now that no one is here to help me because you'll force me to get better. I'm so grateful now. I'm so happy and grateful now That there's nothing available in my language, in my market, in my city, and I'm the first one because it will make me stronger and it will make me the pioneer to create the greatest success story this company has ever seen. In my 43 years of my life and in my 30 years in America, in my past 25 years journey as an entrepreneur, I can tell you right now, looking back at it, some of the toughest moments, looking back at it now, I truly am most grateful for. How many of you can look back at your life, the times that you thought you were going to be broken, the time that was the toughest season in your life, but now you look back, it was the time that you learned the most. It was the time that you grew the most. It was the time that made you tough. Because how many of you know, without going through a tough situation, it's impossible for you to be a tough person in life. How many of you agree with that? How many of you agree that there's absolutely no champion that didn't go through hardships and challenges in life for them to go through to become who they needed to become? The reality is, everything in life that happens, it is for you, because in our business we have a saying, which is so true. Either you're building your business or the business is building you. It's building your character, it's building your mindset, it's building your leadership, it's building your skill set. And every day, if you can wake up with the mindset and the attitude of being happy and grateful about everything that is happening and not happening in your life, and we stay the course, I know for a fact every single one of you can make the life that you designed in your mind that we talked about earlier a reality for your family. If you believe that with me, give yourself a big hand. I want you to create a habit of saying, I am happy and grateful now. I am happy. Let's say that with me. I'm happy and grateful. I'm happy and grateful.
I'm happy and grateful.
Happy and grateful for every person around you. Happy and grateful for every person that's not in your life. You know, after having 16 years of incredible journey with my previous business, we had a separation, and I can tell you 7 years ago when that happened, I thought the whole world stopped. And I went through some very challenging times during COVID prior to finding Riman. And at the time, I wasn't sure if it's enough, if the challenges that's happening, I was strong enough to bear it and actually go through it and fight through it. But can I tell you something? In that short 2-3 years of time, I've learned more. Now looking back 7 years later, I've learned more than I did 20 years prior. I got so stronger because of it. I got better because of it. And without that season, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I am forever grateful and happy for the tough times and challenges that happen in my life. And I want you to have the same story, folks. I want every single one of you to have that story. But you have to start being happy and grateful about it now. It's not after you pass, it's doing it now. Now, I want to talk to you now, talking about some serious things here. Now I want to talk about something fun. Anybody like violin? Did you guys know, when I didn't finish, but when I went to college, did you guys know I majored in violin? So I used to play violin. Now, I want to show you a really cool performance, okay? That's not me. No, that's not me. I just found that online, okay? Now, anybody like Star Wars? Anybody like Star Wars? Pretty cool. Anybody like the sound of violin? It's pretty cool. Now, that's cool. But how many of you agree? As cool as that is, not as cool as this one. How many of you agree this is better? A little louder, please. It doesn't sound as good as a full orchestra. How many of you agree with me? Now, many of us, as we build our business, another reason why we need to keep it simple and duplicate is because it is so easy to do things my way and just focus on what I like to do when I feel like doing it. But you know, as good as you'll ever be, one person doesn't take the team to championship. It doesn't matter how beautiful of a musician you become. It will never sound as beautiful as a full orchestra performing together. I love the way Mr. Jerome said it. Each of us need all of us, and all of us need each of us, because one person doesn't make an orchestra. One person doesn't make a country. One person doesn't make an organization. All of us working together as a team. One of the meanings of team, I believe, is together everyone achieves more. If we could work together as a team, in Riman community, in Riman family, in all the markets, doesn't matter who their sponsors, we all work together to build Riman community as a team. And we build it in such a unity that it's impossible for outside attacks to ever break us, because we're so united. How many of you agree? When you're united, you're strong. But when you're divided, you're weak. And things fall apart. Most empires in the history, they didn't fall from the attacks of the outside. They fell because the unity internally was broken. One of my favorite meanings of unity is united purpose, no ego, integrity, trust, yield to the mission. Now, unity isn't everyone being the same. Unity simply, go back? Sorry. I just got yelled at. Unity, united purpose, no ego, integrity, trust, yield to the mission. Unity isn't everyone being the same. Unity is everyone moving in the same direction. See, Chairman An created this beautiful company 8 years ago for all of us. He's got a vision to bring this all over the world and create a multi-billion-dollar number one cage beauty brand in the world. In over 50 countries that he's planning to invest in developing and opening the opportunity for all of us. And if we could go to the same direction in this culture and this system together as we build this team and community together, and understand that big leaders, they're thinking priorities, vision first, community second, and myself third. When the small leaders are always thinking about themselves first, and my team, and everything else comes after. If we could shift our priorities in our thinking and our decision making. Many people ask me, Danny, aren't you tired? You just flew 20 hours to land in this city for this event. See, if I think about me, yes, I'll be tired. But if I focus on the people that came to the event, it's their first event in Riman, and they drove 2 hours, they drove 4 hours to be there. I don't have the time to think about how tired I am. I need to give them the best version of Riman that we can possibly showcase. And that's the reason why I can do 13 country tour. And that's the reason why we fly 20 hours, 10 hours, and share this exciting message and training and the opportunity in every market. Because the vision comes first, community comes after, and myself comes later. Now, is that easy to do? In the beginning, it's not easy to do. Because here's the reality. Somebody else could be battling a cancer. Painful cancer. But sometimes when we have a headache, our headache pain is more painful than somebody else's cancer pain. Why? Because my headache is mine. You know, it's so easy to be self-focused and self-centered and not have the right empathy to really go out there and feel the right emotion to support the people. I love what Mr. Zig Ziglar said. If you want to achieve greater things in life, helping other people to get what they want, you will have everything you want. Mr. Jim Rohn said, service to many leads to greatness. Serving people, doing it for people, doing it for other people, doing it for the community and the purpose. Do you know you'll be way more powerful than you doing it for yourself? How many of you, when you are hungry and you prepare a meal for yourself, you never go all the way as much as if you are preparing a meal for people you love and care about for a special occasion? How many of you agree with that? We, as human beings, we are way more powerful when we can tap into the part of us that focuses on vision and community and do it for other people. And I share this with you because I want all of you to be powerful. See, Riman started 8 years ago in Korea. Started the global expansion project 2023, just 3.5 years ago. And today we're here today, operating in 18 countries. We're going to have thousands of us together starting tomorrow, celebrating and growing. And we got some exciting announcements tomorrow. We got, let me say it one more time. We got some exciting announcements. I don't know if we had this level of exciting product announcements like what we're about to experience in here tomorrow. Some of the products that we're going to get to hear about tomorrow, we've never even heard such a thing, ever. And I can't tell you, but this great person is going to talk about it tomorrow, Riman is going to talk about it tomorrow. It's going to blow your mind. The results that I'm gonna get myself in trouble tomorrow. So we got the product announcements. That's amazing. We got two surprise announcements that nobody knows about. Like nobody knows about. Even the directors and senior directors, even national directors don't even know about. We got a big surprise. Couple announcements tomorrow that we're so excited to share with you tomorrow. So we got a lot of exciting things happening. Companies more committed than ever right now. For opening up over 50 countries, building a multi-billion-dollar company together with all of us by 2030. Around the world, making Riman the #1 TV brand around the world. And we're here together, building this community. These are the directors and senior directors and national directors in North America already making it happen. How many of you want your picture on that photo? To be up there and join that leadership. We're building this beautiful community together. And I can tell you right now that it's time. People in Riman community, they need us to step up after this weekend and start performing at next level leadership. People in the world need us to bring Riman the products and the opportunity to the marketplace because many people are in positions lost, uncertain, not knowing what to do, and not knowing where their life is going to be 5 years from now. And it's time to live the life that you deserve. It's time to live the life that you design. And I know some of you may be thinking, hey, Riman's been in the United States for 3.5 years. Aren't I too late? I know some of you are thinking, hey, I'm already 50 years old. I'm already 40 years old. I'm already 60 years old. I've given my best in 10, 20 different businesses in my life. It never happened for me before. Isn't it too late? Hey, we learned from this World Cup with Bozina, who showed us that it's never too late to start. You know, from keeper to goalkeeper, you know, he never played professional football soccer until he was 25 years old. First World Cup he entered, he's 40 years old, and he came to World Cup with less than 46,000 followers, and after World Cup, he's got 30 million followers on Instagram. He became one of the biggest success stories in the sport world has ever seen. You know what that means? What that means? It's never too late to start. Tell the person sitting next to you, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to start. So this World Cup showed us the game isn't over until it's over. We saw Belgium win against Senegal. Do you know that they were losing 2-0 until 85th minute? 85th minute, 86th minute first goal, 89th minute second goal to tie, and 125th minute in overtime they won. It's not over until it's over. Argentina, they were losing until 102 minutes. Now some of them are like, but I don't like Argentina. We're not talking about that right now. The Netherlands, they were losing until 95th minute in the 90-minute game in their overtime. You know, Argentina against Egypt, they were losing until 82nd minute. Netherlands and Japan was losing until 87th minute. And of course, even the championship, I mean, Spain, hey, Spain World Cup, can we give that big until 105th minute, they were tied, but they score 160. You know what that means? It's not over until it's over. Don't give up too early. Tell the person sitting next to you, don't give up too early. Don't give up too early. You know why most people never achieve the life that they design? Because they give up too early. that got me here, you know what he said? The day after the day you feel like quitting is the day you're going to make it. Let me say it one more time. He said, the day after the day you feel like quitting is the day you're going to make it. From that moment on, anytime I ever felt like giving up, for a moment I was upset and frustrated, but immediately I was reminded, hey, tomorrow's my day, and I got excited. And I want you to leave Las Vegas with that mentality. Tell the person sitting next to you, the day after the day you feel like giving up is the day you're going to make it.
The day after today.
All right, for too long, you can't remember. Then tell them you can do it. Don't give up too early. Now, soccer is 90-minute game with little overtime. But you know your life is not a 90-minute game. You know what that means? It's not over until you win. As long as your business don't stop. As long as you don't stop, your career don't stop. As long as you don't stop, your journey doesn't stop. I want you to make a decision this weekend in Las Vegas. That you will be the hero for your family. I tell people all the time, make a decision that you'll be a hero for your family. You know why? Making a decision to be a hero for your family is powerful. You know, Superman, you know what happens when you're a superhero? When you hit, you're stronger. When you get hit, it doesn't hurt. When I made a decision that I'm going to become a hero for my family, you know what happened? What used to hurt me with words, when people reject me, when people doubt me, it used to hurt me, but once I made that decision to be the hero for my family, it stopped hurting. Every time I did presentation, once I made the decision, it became more powerful. This is how I used to look like 25 years ago. I didn't own a suit. It was the first time I ever shared my testimonial on stage. I didn't own a suit. I borrowed it from my upline. That's why it's big on me. I'm swimming in it. But that's where I started. But I made a decision to be here for my family, and this is my family's picture, my wife and 3 kids. I made a decision that no one would stop me from providing life for my family that I never got to have. I just got to bring my father and my son to 2 World Cup games. Their first Korean World Cup game, we got to go to Guadalajara, Mexico to watch it. It was absolutely an amazing experience. And I want to share that with you to talk about my family. I share that with you because I want to share my story with you because I want you to start creating your story. I want to hear your story. I want to know your story. I want you to start creating your story. And I know you've heard a lot of stories of other people up to this point in life, but I want you to start creating your story. I want you to start designing your life. I want you to know that it's your turn now. Can you tell the person sitting next to you, it's your turn now?
It's your turn.
Come on, I wrote it on the screen. You can read it. You don't have to remember. It's your turn now. Tell the person sitting next to you. This is your chance. Tell yourself, this is my chance.
This is my chance.
This time is right now. This time is the best time to be part of this opportunity. 2026, we still got 5 months left. You know what that means? 2026 is my year. Woo! Year yet in your life. Let me see your hand. This is your year. If you're from the United States, let me talk to you. USA is your market. Canada is your market. If you're from Mexico, let me talk to you. Mexico is your market. If you're from other countries, hey, your country is your market. Can I tell you, even in the United States, 99% of North America doesn't know about Riman yet. Your hotel up to this convention center is far. And outside of the Riman distributors, I was walking here. Nobody knows me. I was in 13 countries and not a single time somebody at the airport stopped me and said, "Oh, you that Riman David?" Nobody knows us. 99% of the world, 99.999% of the world doesn't know who we are. want you to start the most exciting new journey, new chapter of your life starting this weekend.
Woo!
Tomorrow, we got full of announcements. We're going to be hearing from Chairman On in the morning. We're going to be hearing from Ms. Betty Perez with product announcements in the morning. We got recognition of directors and senior directors and national directors and all the top leaders tomorrow. Tomorrow, you want to be fully prepared. I want you to get good rest tonight. And I want you to be fully ready. And tomorrow morning, we're going to be starting at 9 a.m. sharp. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a great time. We want to let's make the declaration right now that this weekend, after